Hey guys, we got to talk about something today, and it's something that's probably wasting a whole bunch of your time. We're going to talk about Twitter, and we're going to talk about what you can be using instead. So if you're new to the channel, you're probably like, what the hell gives this guy the right to talk about whether Twitter can be used successfully to grow a stream or not? I'm skullstream. I've been on Twitch for about 4 years. I've been partnered for 2 of them, and I've been using Twitter for probably about the same time. And just like you, I started off my streaming journey. What were the things that I absolutely needed to do? And at the time I did that search, one of the most suggested things was start using Twitter to grow your stream. Now, I didn't fully understand it at the time, but after 4 years of mulling this over, I've gotten a better handle on it. Let me explain to you what I found. Simply put, in 4 years, I've never seen Twitter grow a stream. I've only seen streams grow Twitter, and I've only seen YouTube content grow Twitter as well. I've never actually seen a stream be grown by something that shares the same weaknesses as Twitch. So if you're doing these kind of searches, you're probably familiar with the idea that social proof runs Twitch. The bigger your viewership numbers are, the more people are interested in your content. Twitter has that same weakness. So it kind of baffles me after all of this time that people are suggesting Twitter grows your stream when Twitter literally has the exact same weaknesses that Twitch does, requiring social proof. For a new streamer, this is a freaking nightmare. The first thing we have to do today is figure out why the heck everyone since the dawn of time has been saying, use Twitter, use Twitter, use Twitter. That's easy. See, Twitter first went live back in 2006, and Justin TV, the predecessor to Twitch, went live back in 2006 as well. But Justin TV didn't become open to the public using it until 2007. So back then, Twitch and Twitter were both new at the same time. Now keep that idea of new in your head. We're going to discuss it more later. So when both of these platforms were new and gaining organic viewership, it was only natural for somebody to start using Twitter to cross-promote their stream from Twitch onto their Twitter. 2 platforms that were both growing organic viewership at the same time and getting people to come to the new platform. Now at this time, because they were both so new, people on Twitch were informing new users that Twitter existed, and people on Twitter were informing new users that Twitch existed. This was double duty. So back when both of these platforms were getting new organic traffic and a whole ton of new users, it was good advice, but it's not the case anymore because both platforms' new viewership has slowed. Twitch streamers found a way to use Twitter to self-advertise, and the advice that they had given then on how to do it has been parroted into oblivion until its eventual uselessness in present day because they're doing it the same way they've been doing it for the past decade. Think about that a little bit. The past 10 years. 10 years is a long time to be using any platform, but what it's allowed people to do is both A, copy the methods of people that were once successful 10 years ago, and B, it's given the audience time to get sick of seeing the same thing that they've been seeing for 10 years. So literally the only reason you've been hearing this advice since you started streaming is because it's been parroted since streaming started. And it's basically like the streamer version of the earth is flat argument that nobody's really ever challenged up till current day. We're doing that now. When people stop using a social media, they don't just stop it cold turkey. They stop using one and they start using a new one. Now, if you think about what's happened over the last 5 years, Discord has now become a thing and TikTok has now recently emerged in 2016. Both of these new platforms have seen widespread adoption and let you do things that you couldn't do on Twitter before, right? So before you burn me at the stake on this Twitter isn't good for growing your stream thing, TikTok has twice as many active users in half the amount of time that it took Twitter to get theirs right now. Over the last 3 years, they've managed to become more popular than Pinterest, Snapchat, Reddit, and of course Twitter. And remember, at one point, Snapchat was the hot new app of the day. Now Twitter is on the same chopping block. So why did it work so well in the past? It worked so well in the past because people didn't have widespread adoption of Twitter and it wasn't a normal thing. And like I said before, they were both new at the same time, both Twitch and Twitter. So this content hadn't become stale yet. At that time in its history, hashtag support small streamers wasn't a thing yet. Go live notifications weren't a thing yet. Even hashtags were actually still being used back then. Back when put as many hashtags in your tweet was recommended advice. Now, over the years, this has decreased to eventually 2 has been the accepted number for a while. Now the current number is 0. So what does that mean? That means Twitter has lost all of its search functionality. It means the majority of users that are using Twitter don't like seeing hashtags. And therefore, most users on Twitter aren't actually using it to search anything. So again, it's sharing the same weakness as Twitch. Nobody searches Twitch either. Nobody rightfully expects a Twitch clip to be indicative of somebody's 8-hour Twitch stream content. They know that whatever they see in the clip is the top of the mountain. And why should they interrupt their browsing session on Twitter to potentially click off and go view a stream that's probably not even live? Why wouldn't they just scroll down half an inch to the next clip? Last 2 things about why Twitter is just ineffective. Anybody that's telling you that Twitter is effective, I highly suggest that you check out their credentials using an app called socialblade.com. What I want you to look for is days or months where there's thousands of follows or thousands of unfollows. And what you're gonna find is this is a way to vet whether people are telling you the truth or not telling you the truth. And then the reason you wanna make sure that they're telling you the truth and that this person is on the level is that if somebody had used follow for follow bots and had used retweet and engagement bots and they don't tell you to do that in their advice on how to grow your Twitter, then they're leaving a large portion of their experience out of the instructions they're giving other people. It's really hard to learn from somebody else's experience if they're not telling you the whole experience. The second thing I want to mention is that there's always an obvious tip that's missing from all of these how to increase your engagement on Twitter videos that I've never heard in 4 years. If you want more engagement on your Twitter, make a video on YouTube about how to get engagement on your Twitter, because it literally targets the exact kind of people that you want. People that want to grow their Twitch and people that want to grow their Twitter. And again, if you wanted to use Social Blade, you can actually track the number of likes and favorites that someone gets on the same date they release YouTube videos on Twitter content. And the only reason I say this is highly suspect is because I've seen Twitter videos for the last 4 years, but no one has ever given the suggestion that if you want more engagement, make a video that caters to an audience that will engage with it. And the best way to do that is to make a YouTube video on how to increase your Twitter engagement. And the reason that no one's ever made this content before is either A, incompetence, or B, they're withholding the information. So is Twitter still good for anything? Yeah, it's still good for stuff. Game developers use it to contact people and give them keys. Community managers use it to contact content creators. Some content creators use it to interact together. But I don't suggest prioritizing Twitter as your main content. If you've already got the social proof to make it worthwhile and useful, then knock yourself out. But if you're like most of us and you're just starting out and you're a new streamer, you're gonna find it has the same weakness as Twitch, and that's it requires social proof to reach a large audience. Not only that, but even if you have the social proof to reach a large audience, it's going to reach the same audience over and over again. It's very rarely going to reach new people. So we've covered why Twitter isn't that useful. We've covered why it used to be and why it isn't now. We've covered how to protect yourself from bad advice and how to check the history of anybody giving that advice. Now we're going to talk about the alternatives that you should be using to increase your following on Twitch. So what you want to be using for your social media platforms are platforms that complement Twitch's weaknesses. We already discussed before, Twitch's main weaknesses are requiring social proof and Twitch's main weakness is discoverability. As neither of these, we should be using social platforms that do these for us. The best 3 right now are YouTube for searchability, TikTok for organic reach, and Discord for better deepening our relationships with our audience. So very quickly, let's go through why TikTok is so good for this. TikTok forces people to watch your content. You don't usually get to choose which category you go to and from on TikTok when you're using the app. Basically, videos just pop up in front of you. You scroll to the next one, it suggests another one. It's completely algorithm driven. The algorithm picks up on basically 2 or 3 things. First, the algorithm picks up on watch time. If people watch to the end of the video or they watch a high percentage of the total time of the video, and you get extra credit for multiple watches. Number 2 is whether people like it and comment on it. So if they engage with it and they say, I really love this content, it starts recommending them more of similar kinds of content. Oh, and statistically, a high portion of views on TikTok come from new people versus the same people all the time. YouTube. YouTube's a search engine. It's obviously owned by Google. The reason it's so useful is because people can ask questions that are very specific and get very specific answers. So that gives you an opportunity as a creator to anticipate what people's questions are going to be and make content that answers it before they ask it. And Discord doesn't have discoverability. Well, actually does have discoverability. If you're a partner, you now have the opportunity to make a discoverable server. We could talk about that in a later video though. Discord doesn't have great discoverability, but it does deepen your relationship with your community in the same way that Twitter hosts group conversations by letting you make a post and letting other people comment on that post. Discord lets you have categories. Discord lets you have a general chat. It basically acts as your own forum as a content creator. Not only that, but it allows people within your Discord server to talk to each other directly, and it allows people to talk to you, not just in text like on Twitter, but in voice. Also allows them to send files, post pictures. Basically a lot of this same activity that you see on Twitter, but Discord does it way better. So these 3 different platforms let you do totally different things. YouTube lets you be found by answering people's questions and providing them value-add content that's edited. TikTok lets you reach organic viewership by making content on a platform that is still growing and new as Twitter once was in the past. And Discord is the best way to deepen your relationships with your audience in both a private and open forum. So in short, you don't need to be prioritizing Twitter, and it's probably going to be a waste of time. The time that you could have used on Twitter, you could be using to talk to people in Discord directly. You could be using that to make TikTok videos that will get seen 100%. And you could be using that content to make YouTube videos like this. And nobody's paying me to make this. I don't have any incentive to lie to you here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to be popular. In fact, this is probably going to be unpopular advice just because it goes against the grain of everything that we've been told up until now. And here's my last piece of evidence. People are currently getting partnered off of TikTok, but nobody has ever been partnered off of using Twitter. So if you found any of this information useful, or you're deciding to redirect your effort going forward, please like and subscribe, and tell me how you feel about Twitter in those comments below. Until next time, I've been Skullstream. Hope you found this useful, and I'm live on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stop in, tell me what you think. Let's talk about streaming. Till then, take care, guys.